Welcome back one and all, my name is Eltimar and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Mask of the Betrayer. Where we left off last time, we're about to enter a Mind Flayer's dream. That's going to be pretty interesting, I think. Let's travel to his prison. Hopefully this doesn't go terribly wrong for us. Did Ilsensin send you to rescue me, or are you with the Githyanki? I'm here to rescue you. You lead, I will follow after I see it is safe. Really? Had to go on alone? Hi. Oh, I see. We have to just not get caught. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Okay, let's try again. Oh, that's a Githyanki there. Let's go this way. Where did he go? Did he not follow us? I guess not. I think we have to talk to him again. Okay. Alright, let's go. You lead, I will follow after I see it's safe. Come on. And we got enough experience to level up. Haha, I'm free and safe. He's probably going to attack us this moment we come out of theirs, but let's just hope that he doesn't. I shouldn't have hit recommended. I should have picked what we wanted. What did they go into? Why do we have spellcraft? Well, whatever the points went into, I guess it worked out well, because it's kind of what we wanted. Alright, we get epic feats now. We are going to take epic prowess, I think. Yeah, and then armor skin will be next for us, I believe. Alright. We are heading out of here. Well, this is different. Clearly, the Dreamscape portal is open again. There's no other dreams to enter. Let's go in and see what happens. Oh, that's grim. Hey, it autosaved for us. That's interesting. Ahriman is here.
It began here. I stood at the betrayer's side, at my brother's side. They were gathered around us, celestials, dragons, mortals, both alive and dead. Did the room expand to hold such a host, or is my memory too small?
You are Ahriman, a red wizard of Thay. You are the one who usurped Sophia's academy.
I was not always a red wizard. The last time I laid eyes on that door, I was nothing but a younger brother, the shadow of a better and wiser man. We stand before the betrayer's gate, a door that should not be. Rest your eyes upon its edges and its grooves. Watch them carefully, and you can sense the wrongness. Death and life flow together in that simple slab of rock. Pass through it, and you will see the place of final judgment.
I'm going to say wisdom. I met 3 generals who said that they would await the opening of the gate, this door. Is this the gate they meant?
Yes, my brother's generals await his return as he commanded them. They wait in vain. My brother cannot return. He is gone.
Can the gate be opened?
My brother opened the gate with his silver blade. He was obsessed. I swear to you, if I could take it back, if I could make him see.
Somebody else is coming.
You? Make him see? Ahriman, you flitting shadow. You are nothing but a leaf born by a great storm.
You are not Sophia, are you?
Ahriman, why do you hunt me? You would destroy everything your brother strove for, render his sacrifice meaningless.
Not to destroy, to set things right. How could I choose my brother over my god? Yes, I was a feeble, flitting thing when I passed through that door. I was born by my brother's storm, but I learned from his folly. He set mortal love above the gods, so he paid the price. And we paid with him. You and I.
You are both suffering, but the fault is not your own. Would the betrayer have wanted this strife between you?
No, he wouldn't.
What my brother desired, how can that matter? My brother wanted to uproot the plains and tear down the gods from on high. Suffering cannot be avoided. It can be minimized, yes, but the universe cannot be torn asunder for the sake of one soul.
There is no greater ideal than love. Let the gods fume and rant. Mortals must follow their hearts, no matter the consequence.
Spoken like the betrayer himself. Always selfish. Always believing that his dreams were grander. That his loves were stronger and not to be denied. And she is selfish too. She sows suffering in love's name. Let the heavens fall and roast in the pits of hell. If love was served by such as this, she would care not.
Oh no. Okay. At least we're good against the wizards. Unless we get... There we go. I was like, why are we not moving? Go hit that guy. Why can't I attack them? Are they in Sanctuary or something? Are they simulacrums? No. We have apparently a status effect on us, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, let's kill him. He's stuck in the corner. One dead. We can fight Aramon, we're here anyways. Or maybe we can't fight him yet. Maybe we have to kill the wizard. Oh wait, I think we have to kill them in order. That would actually make a whole lot of sense. Aramon's now out of his little bubble shield thing. And we just hammered him. But first, let's take down this other red wizard. Get rid of all of his little cronies first. Your knockdown is kind of annoying, but actually not too worried about it. Alright, Aramon is the only one left alive. It's time, Aramon. Time to die. Any loot? There's a red woman up there near death, the gas. Can we talk to the door? It is locked. And we cannot just bust it down. That's unfortunate. It was worth a shot though. And love overcomes, as it always must. Thank you. You're welcome, I guess. Why can't I move now? I literally cannot move anywhere. Oh, there we go. Now I can move. Oh, I can only move in a very limited range. Okay, well, let's just go through the portal. I was kind of hoping we could explore back there and see what it was, but I guess not. Alright, we're done one of the dream sequences, I guess. Maybe we're supposed to lose that game of guessing with the human bard. Let's go to the wizard's prison. Human wizard, I should say. I'm going to chug a potion, I think. We have lots of potions of heal. And we're a little bit low on life. There's got to be something I'm overlooking. Something I... Oh, you there. You have to help me. Of course, what can I do for you? This thing, this vile creature claims to have the right to my soul. And why would it claim that? Well, it says it was all in the contract I signed. Wait, did you sign a contract with the devil? No, I did sign a small agreement, so yes, I suppose, yeah. And what were the terms of this agreement? Not my soul, that's for sure. We simply agreed on a number of favors he would grant me if I did certain things for him. Do you have a copy of the agreement? Yes, but I need to keep looking through it. I'm sure he has another copy on his person, just to taunt me with in case I lose mine. I'll ask to see his copy then. Greetings, my friend. I hope our good friend Ferris here hasn't concerned you overmuch with talk of our business relationship. He says you have a claim on his soul. Is there any truth to that? Why, yes. But that's only because I do have a claim to his soul. It's all explicitly stated in the contract. Can I see it? Of course, here. You may peruse it at your leisure. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask. I'll do that. Let's take a peek at the contract. Upon being fully unrolled, this scroll reaches a length of approximately 30 feet. It features a tiny, precise script written in reddish ink, presumably blood, on a material that you'd rather not consider too carefully. While a little of the writing is in a language you cannot decipher, the majority of it is written in common. After unfurling the scroll, you realize that it would take far too long to read it in its entirety. Perhaps it would be better to find a relevant section. Start at the beginning. A maddeningly long piece of text starts the document by declaring the omnipotence of someone named Asmodeus, and declaring the inevitable victory of the devils over their long-hated foes, the demons. Skip ahead further on, you find a passage that pertains to the matter at hand. I, Ferris Windelhelm, do enter a binding agreement with the devil Inzibur for an unspecified length of time. The terms of the agreement exist in accord with the tenets laid out in the Pact Primeval, which states that the text continues on for many pages, citing a document of some considerable importance to devils. Let's find the part about the favors. The section regarding what favors were granted is located a few pages into the document. A short passage prefaces the section, followed by a bit of text much smaller than the rest, after which the favors themselves are explained. What's the preface say? The signee agrees that the following favors are to be had upon the completion of the services mentioned. The type, number, and degree of the services to be rendered are not negotiable after the signing of this contract. Smaller text. Each favor shall be granted but once, and will have a duration of 1 year, renewable each time the signee fulfills the obligations of a new favor. Should a favor's duration run out without being renewed, it can be granted again for another year, starting from the date the signee fulfills the obligations for another item on the list. Okay, let's read the favors. There are 5 favors listed total, and each specifies the condition required for it to be granted. They seem to have an order of sorts, with the latter favors requiring more from the signee. Okay. For the favor of 1 powerful magical item, unspecified, the signee must inflict pain on a helpless being. Second one, for the favor of increased skill, one must endeavor. The signee must perform a mischievous act upon a hated foe. The third, for the favor of a wish of limited proportions, the signee must cast a spell of evil nature. Okay. Fourth, for the favor of increased mental ability, the signee must cause grievous harm to another being. I do that all the time. I should be a genius. And the fifth one, finally, for the favor of supreme magical power, the signee must cause, directly or indirectly, the death of another. I do that par for the course. I would do that 1,000,000 times to be a being of supreme magical power. Alright, let's go to a different contract. Skip to the end. The final part of the scroll is more mind-numbing legal jargon, before ending with the signature that clearly reads Ferris Windelhelm. Below that is a long string of neatly written symbols. Slightly above the signature, you notice a section of incredibly small text. The tiny text. The text is written so small that you can barely make it out. If you hadn't been carefully examining the document, it's likely you would have missed it altogether. It reads, furthermore, the signee agrees that should all services be rendered unto the provider, and all favors for such services be granted in response, that the signee's immortal soul become the sole property of the provider for all eternity. Well, he's screwed. Oops. Well, he's wrong, right? It doesn't say anything about giving my soul. I made sure that none of the things I had to do for him involved my soul in any way. Actually, I'm afraid it does say something about your soul. It does? Where? Right here at the bottom it says that if you complete all the terms of the contract, your soul becomes his property. Oh gosh, I didn't even see that. I just checked the conditions and signed the stupid paper. You mean you didn't even read the whole thing? Of course not. Did you see how long that thing is? Did you read the whole thing just now? Of course. Oh, please, no one could possibly read that fast. Maybe I did skim through some of the parts. I thought as much. In any case, this means that what the fiend says is true. My soul is really at stake here. So it appears. How did this all start, anyways? It all began several years ago. I was one of 2 apprentices under the tutelage of Master Wizard Galban of Telflam. At first my studies went well, but then the other apprentice, Ithias, began to pull ahead of me. Go on. The master began to get upset that he had to teach us at different rates, and he started assigning me menial tasks so he could spend more time with Ithias. It became so unbearable that I went to look for a new teacher. What happened then? One prospective teacher who lived nearby was a summoner, but I arrived early to our meeting and he hadn't returned home yet. Instead I found that thing in a circle in the center of the room waiting for me. And did the summoner ever arrive? I don't know. While I was waiting I began talking to Enziber over there, who was sympathetic to my plight and promised to help me with my problems. I'm sure he did. Is that when you signed the contract? No, I returned home, but Enziber began to visit me whenever Galban and Ithias went out, and we eventually came to an agreement. And then? Things went well at first. I fulfilled a couple of the conditions in the contract, and I was rewarded, as promised. My studies began to pick up, and my situation got better. Then what happened? At some point the favors vanished. I still have no idea why. There was a stipulation in the contract that stated favors would only last a year, you know. There was? Hells! I must have missed that part too. If only I had never signed that stupid thing. Well, no arguments there, so the benefits disappeared. What did you do about it? I summoned Enziber. Unfortunately, Ithias burst into my room and caught me talking to him. He immediately began threatening to tell the master. And what did you do? Without thinking, I cast a spell at him. He wasn't quite as quick to run to the master after being doused with acid. Fortunately, I had an Area's silence spell memorized as well. You wouldn't believe how much he screamed. And then what happened? I fled. I grabbed a few of my things and started running. I don't know where I was going, but I knew I had to get away before the master discovered what I had done. It didn't take long for him to find me, though. And you killed him, right? I didn't kill anyone. What makes you think I would do something like that? Do you really want me to answer that? I suppose not. Anyway, he said I was dangerous and began chanting a spell. I didn't know what to do. I closed my eyes and wished he would go away. I heard the crackling of energy, then a harumph of surprise. A harumph? Yes, a harumph. It's a sound that old men often make to express displeasure or surprise. It's more of a harumph. I knew that. What happened then? I opened my eyes and he was gone. I searched the area where he had been standing and found only some dust. I was scared out of my mind. And then? I was staying at an inn about a day's ride from Telflam when I found a letter in my pack. It said that the terms of our contract were complete and that my soul would become Enziber's property upon my death. And now you're trying to get out of it. Hells yes, I'm trying to get out of it, wouldn't you? I suppose so. Do you have any Actually, no. What would be the point? I mean, have you actually discovered any information of use? Very little, I'm afraid. I've been researching infernal contracts for weeks now with little progress due to the subject matter. People look at you differently when you tell them you want to find out about making pacts with devils, you know? What are you going to do now? Well, assuming you're no help, which is looking increasingly evident, I'll probably continue to interrogate Enziber here for a bit, but I fear that won't yield any positive result. After that, I plan to visit a coven of hags I've read about in several texts. It said that they know about everything, having absorbed knowledge from the dreams of countless mortals. Maybe that's not such a great idea. Nonsense. With vast amounts of knowledge amassed by the hags at my disposal, I'm sure to find a solution to my problem. What if, say, the hags trap you in their shared dream and slowly drain your life energy, leaving you nothing but a withered husk that's completely unaware of its own predicament right up to the very end? Nah, that'll never happen. You're right, what was I thinking? So how's the research coming? I've only found a little bit about the Betazu lore from anyone of real authority. I have found some interesting things and stories written about infernal contracts, however. Tell me. Well, the few accounts I've read by summoners crazy enough to have frequent dealings with the Betazu say they're sticklers for detail, and they always try to do things within the rules they set for themselves. There's nothing wrong with doing things by the rules. It would seem you share the Betazu mindset. What about the stories? Any leads there? Actually, there's 2 general themes to the stories I found. In the first type, adventurous mortals managed to escape from their contracts by using their wits. And the second involved adventurous mortals trying to escape from their contracts by using their wits, only they were outsmarted by the devils and had their souls taken. Okay, let's try the first type. What did you learn? In the stories, the mortals always escape their contracts by either finding some type of error in the contract or proving the devil broke the rules somehow. So maybe there's an error in the contract. I doubt it. I've looked it over several times now and haven't found anything out of place. Which leaves the rules. The stories were always a little hazy on the details of the rules the devils followed. I think most of the ones used in the stories were made up, as the authors didn't really know anything about the topic themselves. Fortunately, we have an expert in Beta Zoo rules just standing over there. Good luck convincing him to help you. I'm gonna go talk to him. Hello again, my friend. Always a pleasure. What would you like to know or discuss now? I'd like to ask some questions about the contract. By all means, a fine piece of work, that document. One of my finest, in fact. What in particular did you wish to ask about it? I'd like to know about infernal contracts in general. My favorite subject. What about contracts would you like to know? What types are there? There are two main varieties, but nearly limited variations of those two. The first type of contract is known as the Pact Certain. It is a simple and binding agreement where an immortal offers up his soul, and a Beta Zoo specifies what will be given for it. And the other one? The other type of contract is known as the Pact Insidious. It is composed of a list of lesser favors a mortal can receive if specific acts are performed. So that would be the type of contract that Ferris signed. Exactly. I had offered him a Pact Certain initially, but he shied away when the topic of his soul was brought up. Quite a shame, really. It would have kept things much simpler. Got more contracts. How does one get out of a contract? You don't. Contracts are binding agreements, and as such are enforced harshly. So there's no way to get out of one? No, not if the contract is well written. So if there was a flaw in the contract somewhere, a mortal could get out of it? I suppose so. I can't imagine a Beta Zoo who could be so careless, though. And that's it? There's no other way out? Well, I suppose if the Beta Zoo in question were to inadvertently break the stipulations of the contract, it would become null and void. The same would happen if the Beta Zoo broke any of our laws in carrying out the contract. Beta Zoo law, eh? Interesting. Mind if I ask you another question? Of course, what would you like to know? Tell me about Beta Zoo law. Aren't you the inquisitive one? Sad to say, Beta Zoo law is far too complex for a mortal to possibly understand in a single lifetime of study. Could you just give me a brief explanation of how it works, at least how it relates to mortals? You may as well ask for the ocean to be served to you in a thimble, but I will try. Beta Zoo law is based on the concept of volition. Mortals are our property by divine decree so long as they willingly give themselves to us. But there are rules. Always there are rules. Under no circumstance is a Beta Zoo allowed to coerce a mortal into signing a contract. The same applies to the fulfillment of a contract in whole and in part. So if a Beta Zoo were to force a mortal to complete a condition of a contract, that would make it null and void? Why, yes, I suppose it would. Yes it is. Did you have any more questions? Got some more questions. More questions in general. Actually, I need to go. Alright, let's go talk to Ferris. I have a few leads, but I need to ask you some questions. Let's talk about the favors. The contract says you had to fulfill all of the conditions in order to lose your soul. But that's just it. I never fulfilled all the conditions. I performed a few of them to be sure, but not all. Why don't we go over each of the favors individually? Yes, of course, we must be thorough. Go ahead, ask me about them. It says you need to inflict pain on a helpless creature as a condition of the first favor. Did you do that? Sadly, yes. I cast a minor cantrip at Ithias' rabbit familiar. How it ran. And did you receive a powerful magic item, like it says in the contract? If you can call it that. The next morning I discovered a tome of infernal spells at the foot of my bed. I can't even read infernal. And when did you fulfill this condition? It was the first condition I fulfilled, since I thought it sounded the most harmless. Okay, different one. The second favor required that you perform a mischievous act, did you? Yes, I made one of Ithias' potions explode in his face when he presented it to old Galban. He had been bragging about that potion for a week. Served him right. And did you receive increased skill in one area of endeavor? Actually, yes, the following week I started noticing a change in my potion making. It began to come to me naturally. Pretty soon I had surpassed Ithias. Master Galban even complimented me one day on what a fine potion I had made. Wow, and it only cost you your soul. Yes, and it only cost me my... that's right. What am I going to do? Calm yourself. I have other questions. And when did you fulfill this condition? Shortly after the first, maybe a day or two later? I want to ask about a different favor. Actually, yeah, a different favor. The third favor required that you cast an evil spell. Did you ever do that? No, I didn't. That's it. That's my way out. Did you ever hear that? Did you hear that, Enzabar? I never cast an evil spell, so your contract is nothing but scrap paper. Haha. Master Ferris, you do recall that you summoned me to answer your questions that day. Master Ithias discovered us talking, don't you? Yes, because your other favors all vanished, you cheat. And you do realize that summoning a denizen of the Nine Hells would be considered evil in most circles, correct? Well, when you put it like that, I suppose... Oh god, I did cast an evil spell. I'm doomed, I tell you. Get a hold of yourself, man. And I slap him. What, are you mad? I mean, you're correct. I must not panic. Let us continue to the questions. And did you receive this wish of limited power mentioned in the contract? A wish? No, I didn't. Wait, that must mean I have a wish left. I mean, it would make sense. I wish that I had never signed that contract. Did it work? No. Hells, I must have already used the wish at some point. Not really. Or any ideas when? Not really. I guess it's not important now. It was worth a try. Back to the questioning. When did you fulfill this condition? I finished this 1/3 about a year after the first two. Okay, let's talk about favors then. The fourth favor. I suppose Ithias and the whole acid bath incident would account for that one. You're right. Did you become more intelligent, as it says? I noticed immediately that things became easier to put together and understand. Not that it helped, seeing as how I spent the moment onward running for my life. When did you fulfill this one? I suppose I completed this one 5th, however long it was between summoning Enzibar and Ithias finding us. So that was the last one he did. Alright, the 5th favor required you to cause the death of another. You didn't do that, did you? No, I never killed anyone, I swear it. Did you become more powerful? It might be difficult to believe, but I wasn't always the fearsome wizard you see before you. You know, a few 10 days ago I was still an eager but inexperienced apprentice. Which means you received the reward. The question is, who did you kill? No one, honest. I've never even seen a dead body, thanks be to Kalimvor. What about Ithias? You did say you hurt him pretty badly. Maybe he died of the wounds. Impossible. I checked him myself before fleeing, and while the acid will probably leave a lasting mark or 10, the wounds were not mortal. How about Galban? Well, I certainly didn't kill him, although what happened was rather odd. One moment he was advancing on me while casting a spell, and the next he was gone. Was there anyone else in the area? Not that I saw. Did you cast a spell at him? No, I was too scared. It wouldn't have done any good anyways. He would have swept away any spell I knew with a wave of his hand. All I did was cringe and wish he'd go away. Wait, you made a wish? In a manner of speaking. I didn't say out loud I wish my master would go away, but I did think it over and over at the time. It says in the contract that the 3rd favor was a wish of limited power. Since Galban attacked you, after you summoned Enzibur, you would have had a wish. You're right, oh gods, I did it. I'm responsible for my master's death. Galban had friends, powerful friends. Oh gods. Did you actually wish for his death? No, if you want to be technical about it, then no. Interesting, that may be the key to this whole puzzle. Really? I don't know. I need to think for a bit. Let's go talk to Enzibur. Your contract with Ferris is null and void. Oh, is it? And how exactly did you come to that conclusion? You broke Beta Zoo law. You think so, do you? Then regale me with the tale of how I managed to break laws I know by heart, and whose existence you learned of mere minutes ago. You claim that Ferris fulfilled all of the conditions of the contract of his own volition, yes? Of course, I didn't coerce him into anything, if that's what you're trying to get at. Remind me again, what was the 2nd favor you granted Ferris? If I must, it was a limited wish in exchange for the act of casting an evil spell. And the final one? Supreme magic power in exchange for him causing the death, either directly or indirectly. This doesn't help, you know. And I'm guessing you maintain that he killed his master Galban. Ferris wished him dead. It was only too happy to oblige him and cast the disintegration spell myself. But Ferris didn't wish him dead. Of course he did. He wished that his master would go away, not that his master would die. You were the one who decided to interpret that as a wish for his death. Let's suppose for a moment that is correct. What does it matter? The wish was made, and here we are. Because by interpreting his wish in that manner, you forced him to fulfill the condition of the last favor. Don't be silly. Nobody forced him. Wait. I'm right, aren't I? I said wait. Let me think for a moment. Think? There's no way around it. Beta Zoo law has been broken, and your contract is worthless. Damn you, mortal. I will not forget this. Good. Make sure you remember that smile on my face right now, too. We are awesome. What just happened? Is it done? Am I free? Indeed, Enzibur's contract with you is no more. Excellent. How did you do it? Really, I must know. He broke the law of his kind by making you complete one of the conditions of the contract. Really? Thank the gods you came along. I never would have you saved me a great deal of time. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Well, that being said, I really must be off. Thanks again. Goodbye. And that is the 2nd one done. We're returning to the Chamber of Dreamers, but we have a new thing to go into now. It's going to be in the next video because we are at half an hour, so like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.